Now we're going to see the attributable risk percent. This is the attributable risk, that is, the attributable risk is the rate of disease on the exposed group. So the rate of disease on the exposed group, this would be the disease on the exposed group divided by the exposed, minus the rate of disease on the unexposed. So the rate of the disease on the unexposed is the disease on the non-exposed divided by the undiseased group. So this is our attributable risk. So the attributable risk percent is the attributable risk divided by the rate of exposed group. The rate of disease on the exposed group. Rate of disease on the exposed group. Because the attributable risk is, let's suppose that I have a group A and group B. Group A, if this group is exposed, let's say with lung cancer. If this group is exposed to smoking, 80% will have the disease, for example, lung cancer. And if it is not exposed, the group will have only 20%. So the attributable risk, is this minus this. This is the rate of disease on the exposed group, because this 80% could have come. Let's say that 80 people of the exposed group got ill in the exposed group, and 20 were not ill. This of the exposed group, and of the non-exposed group was the other way around. Supposing that I have 100 people here and 100 people here, in order to do the math easy. So we know that the rate of disease on the exposed group is 80%, and the rate of disease on the unexposed group is 20%. So our attributable risk is 60%. Now, what is the attributable risk percent? This is the attributable risk divided by the rate of the disease on the exposed, because this is what percent of the risk that I would have reduced is reduced by the attributable risk, because I could have reduced the 80%. I want that this becomes 0%. So the goal is to reduce 80%. Now, of this 80%, how much was what I did reduce, and that is the attributable risk. So this is 60% divided by 80%. This is 3/4. This is 0.75. If you want to say it in percent, you multiply it by 100, and you have 75% is the attributable risk percent. Now this is, for example, we have the disease, the rate of disease on the exposed group and the rate of disease on the unexposed group. But now let's suppose that we don't have this. Let's suppose that we just have the relative risk. You recall that the relative risk is the rate of disease on the exposed group divided by the rate of disease on the unexposed group. This is the relative risk. So here I have that the attributable risk percent is the attributable risk, that is the rate of disease on the exposed group minus rate of disease on the unexposed group divided by divided by the rate of disease on the exposed group. So I have that the attributable risk percent is, you can see it as 1 minus the this is relative risk, but here I have them the other way around, so it would be 1 over the relative risk. This, or the more convenient one, that is the one that is more easier for most people, would be here. I have the rate of disease on the exposed group minus rate of disease on the unexposed group divided by rate of the disease on the exposed group. I could multiply everything times 1 over rate of the disease on the unexposed group divided by 1 over the rate of disease on the unexposed group. So this is 1, so I'm not altering anything. Or you can think as, let's divide the top and the bottom, each one by the rate of disease on the unexposed group. So here I have rate of disease on the exposed group divided by the rate of disease on the unexposed group is the relative risk minus rate of disease on the unexposed group divided by that same thing is 1 divided by this is again relative risk. And this is the other way to calculate it. Relative risk minus 1 all divided by relative risk. And then you multiply it times 100 to get the percent. So let's do it. We have the relative risk in this case would have been 80% divided by 20% would be 8 divided by 2. This is 4. So I have 4 minus 1 divided by 4. This is 3/4. This is 75%. There you go. And here you have 1 minus 1 over 4. This is 3/4. This is again 75%.